So I ask you to solve this equation and it's set to 0. Solving an equation set equal to 0 is the exact same thing as finding the zeros of a function. Now earlier in this chapter we solved an equation like this using factoring by grouping. Sometimes factoring by grouping works. Sometimes factoring by grouping does not work. In this particular case, you will notice that factoring by grouping does not work. So what you have to do is use the theorem to make a list. Okay, after you use the rational zero theorem to make a list, you're going to use synthetic division. After you use synthetic division, you're going to factor. And after you factor, you're going to solve it. Now, this is exactly the same problem that we did on the previous slide. It just has a different verb. So again, solving an equation set to 0 is the exact same concept as finding the zero of a function. Okay, to make my list of possibilities, I take all of the factors of 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. And I put it over the factors of the leading coefficient. So in this case, the factors of the leading coefficient are 1. So my possible zeros are just this green set, because if you put it over 1, of course, you just get the same thing. So let's go down this list until we find one that works. Okay, I'm going to start with a number 1. My polynomial is 1x cubed, 8x squared, 11x minus 20. I'm just going to start with the first number in my list, which is 1. Here's where I'm starting. If it doesn't work, I'll keep going down the list. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. 1 times 20 is 20, add. I got it on the first try. Great. My remainder is 0. So what that tells me is that 1 works. It is a zero of this function. It solves this equation. You'll notice up there that my problem began with x cubed. That means that this piece right here begins with x squared. So I'm going to take x squared plus 9x plus 20, and I'm going to factor it. The factors of 20 that add to give me 9 are 4 and 5. So now I factored it. My last step is to solve them. So I'm going to take x plus 4 and set that to 0, and I'm going to take x plus 5 and set that to 0. So x would equal a negative 4 when I moved that over, and x would equal a negative 5 when I moved that one over. It's an x cubed equation, so it's going to have 3 answers, and that's how we do that one.